The year is 2023. PBS Plus has just launched, bringing the world's streaming services to 4,387. How can anyone be expected to go through all this content? Fear not, loyal passengers. Captain Joe Shoes and his first mate Mez are here to travel through space and time to bring you the best nuggets pop culture has to offer. Strap in. It's time for the JoeMeZ podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 354 of the JoeMeZ podcast. I'm Mez, and my co-host, as always, is
the magistrate of Caravan City. I'm Captain Joe Shoes from the JoeMeZ podcast. And thank you guys for listening to the JoeMeZ podcast. Remember to hit that subscribe button wherever it is that you're listening, whether that be YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher. I think there's still like 3 people in the world who use Stitcher. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on all the social media at JoeMeZ. Leave a 5-star review, and if and when you do, screenshot that review, tweet it to us at JoeMeZ, and we will send you an autographed 8x10 as a token of our appreciation. But right now, I don't want to waste any time, Gomez. Hit the breaking news music.
Woo! Breaking news. What is going on, Joe?
We got some big stories, Gomez.
Whoa,
this week, big stories. And we're not talking quantity. We are talking quality. The better Q. This is Q month. So we're going to give them the better Q, the quality over the quantity. Right? Isn't that what they say?
Always. That's how I feel.
Story number 1. Yesterday, Gomez, Netflix finally dropped Muscles and Mayhem, an unauthorized story of American Gladiators.
Oh, that dropped. Oh, shit. Okay. How long is it? What are the details?
The details are it's an unauthorized story of American Gladiators.
Is it just a doc? Is it a series?
I believe it's just a documentary. I haven't checked it out quite yet. Right. This is obviously something we're going to be talking about next week. So let's add that to the list, add it to the wheel, add it to life. Life, Gomez, is where things like this take place.
Sure. I'm going to have to pencil it in. It's definitely in there for next week.
And I think this is supposed to be like the kind of juicy details we want, the hot goss that we didn't get from the ESPN 30 for 30. Instead, we just got that old man waiting by his fucking front door, waiting to be asked about American Gladiators.
I hope that like those guys aren't in it again, just telling the same story.
I do not need more Johnny Ferraro.
I hope it's not.
I need Nitro.
Yes, give us the people who didn't show up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited. Can't wait.
And Gomez, this one will hit especially close to home for both you and I.
Ooh, what we got here?
The Volcano menu is back at Taco Bell.
Bro, I just got a text from my wife saying, if I'm home tomorrow, we're getting Volcano tacos for Taco Bell. Literally, just as you said that, hysterical. This is awesome. I'm so excited. You don't understand.
So Tuesday, it became app only. This past Tuesday, you can add the lava sauce, and they had the ingredients on the app. If you use your Taco Bell app, which you should be doing anyway, to accrue Taco Bell points and rewards. If you're going to do anything in life, get rewarded for it. That's why I only pay with a credit card that gives me some rewards. Your debit card don't give you any bullshit. Your debit card don't give you cash back. Your debit card don't give you fucking Amazon bucks or Sky Miles or anything. Use the credit card.
You're the king of your Amazon card, getting your gas, filling up, getting those things.
Double the points on groceries.
Ooh, that's good, bro.
You got to check into those rewards. You got to get, if they're going to give you rewards, why would you pass it over? That's putting money in the back of the coffers of the corporations. And I will never do such a thing.
Never that.
Not me. No how. Not my chair, not my problem. That's what I say.
No way. We say it all the time. If you're going to a fast food place and they have an app, you should be using the app. All of them, not just Taco Bell.
Yes.
Every single one. Exclusive deals and those woo, baby.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even go to Taco Bell all that much. And I feel like every time I have a reward in there, which is like, and they do this on purpose. You go to the rewards and it's like, oh, do you want a crunchy taco, a soft taco? It's all the low hanging fruit, right?
Of course.
You just got to scroll and you get like a
real shit.
Cheesy gordita crunch.
Yes, you get like the expensive shit.
It's there for free. You can have it for free. Get it. Get the Taco Bell app because you can have lava sauce on Thursday, the day this show comes out. It's available to everyone.
So excited.
Walk-ins, app users still use the app, but you can walk in if you're a lazy fuck and don't want to get the app. You get your lava sauce. You can get your double beef volcano burrito. You could get your volcano taco and your drink, the combo, the volcano combo, JoeMeZ.
I can't wait. Can we expect a video maybe from Captain Shoes this week? Trying some
Why
volcano?
not? You know what? Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Captain Shoes in the news, baby.
Love it.
Another coffee creamer review went up this week.
Ooh, what flavor?
Almond milk, sweet and creamy flavor coffee creamer.
Interesting.
People out there on the streets looking for a replacement sweet and creamy. I still to this day. Now, both the videos I have, the Cold Stone sweet and creamy flavor that is discontinued. People still going nuts that it's discontinued.
So crazy.
So I did a review of the replacement, which is just International Delight sweet and creamy, which I think is pretty good. A lot of people disagree with me.
Disagreed big time, bro. So how dare you?
For a long time, it was people leaving comments on this video as if I'm the one who did this to them.
How dare you take it away from us?
I'm the one who discontinued the fucking International Delight Cold Stone sweet and creamy flavor. I didn't do it, folks. I'm just sitting here reviewing it. Yeah. But so I got all those people say it's not the same. This sucks. I drank this for years, and now blah, blah, blah. Now I'm getting the comments that say, you're out of your mind. It tastes exactly the same. You have a neurosis. You're just making this up.
You can't win, bro.
I got all the conspiracy theorists that have finally joined the fray.
Oh, you can't win.
It's like in Street Fighter 2 where it's like a new fighter has emerged. And it's like, okay, all the conspiracy theorists have come to the coffee creamer chatter now.
Oh, man, I'm excited. I got to check that out. I didn't see that drop.
So I was at my local supermarket. I said, let's look for something new, something. And I was like, Blue Diamond almond. And I've never had almond milk before. So I'm like,
sure.
But it's sweet cream flavored. Let me try it out. It was the same price as the regular Coffee Mate versions or the International Delight version. I said, I'm willing to take a chance here in the name of science.
God bless science. The science, man.
Bless it.
Well, I'm excited. So, I'll have a review myself because I'm going to get it.
Volcano combo, baby. Look at that. Double beef volcano burrito, which I'm sure you could upgrade to the chicken or steak. I mean, we're at the age now where we could afford the steak. Back in the day, you had to get the beef because that's all we could afford.
That's it, bro.
You only had X number of dollars to spend at Taco Bell at one time. You had to stretch that out. It was like silly buddy.
You need to stretch it out the whole week for other things too. Resources were very low.
But now we're in positions in life where we could afford steak.
Number one podcast, we having steak all day, baby. You got shrimp tacos. Give me that
day. It's still on the menu. The double steak grilled cheese burrito.
So good.
That is, I'm sorry. If you don't agree, I don't know what's wrong with you. But that has to be one of the it's got to be top 5 all-time fast food item.
Woo! Coming in strong. Top 5 all time. My goodness.
Number 1 Taco Bell item, hands down.
It has to be that. Yeah, it has to be. Okay. Ooh, boy. I mean, it's pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. I do love it.
Like one day I should do a video where I just compile all like top 10 fast food items of all time.
And as you eat.
But yeah, like I eat them all. Do a live video.
Oh, can't wait.
But I mean, we'll have to make a live stream out of it. And speaking of live streams, JoeMeZ, the Captain's Log over on the Major Pod Network. We just had Justin Walsh, who is a photographer. He was a group member. He was the original Major Mark. He won the contest after the 100th episode of the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. He was a guest this month in June. And by popular demand, next up on the Captain's Log, I will be interviewing an absolute legend that we were able to track down for the Captain's Log. I can't believe this is going to happen. The Major Marks made this happen. Coming up on the Captain's Log, Joe Shoes sitting down with Captain Joe Shoes. I will be interviewing myself.
I love it. That's going to be good. Story time with Captain Joe. It's going to be a great time, bro.
I love telling stories.
Yeah. And these people, you'll have people in the chat bringing up random shit like, I got a story about that.
But that's the thing is, like, I don't even realize how many stories I have. And to kind of articulate it, when I was in Oshkosh in April for Swagglemania, Matt Stein, who listens to the podcast, I did a spot on his podcast one time. He helps out with ACW Wisconsin. He was giving me a ride back to the airport when I was leaving. And we're sitting in the car and we're chatting and we're moderately friendly, you know. And I was like, you know, just one thing triggers another. And I start telling a story about something else. And I start telling a story. He's like, bro, where do you have all these stories from? And I'm like, I don't know, like just me hitting on Mandy Moore while we were hanging out at the MTV building one day.
Who wouldn't hit on Mandy Moore if they were in the MTV building? I mean, come on.
If you guys are listening and you're going to be in that chat for the Captain's Log, make sure to ask me about the Mandy Moore story. I'll tell it in great detail. It's a good story.
Great story. Oh, man, look at this. It's an exciting week we got coming up here. My goodness.
I'm so much.
So much. Oh, man.
Volcano tacos and American Gladiators documentary. More American Gladiators. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
What a time to be alive.
I want all the American Glad. Give it to me all of it.
Hey, we do have a writer's strike, so it should be coming around again any day now.
Bro, it's coming. It's definitely coming.
That writer's strike ain't going anywhere.
No, it's not, folks. If you notice, there's still no deal. That's not a good sign.
And
shows
not
are
even
supposed to be filming
remotely close to a deal.
Yep. They are just refusing to pay 1%. It's just ridiculous. Oh, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I guess, right? We'll wait for the fall seasons. Hopefully the studios start panicking because they got no shows. They got no movies, right? And hopefully the good things happen. I don't know. I don't have faith.
Right now, I'm not getting my hopes up.
I don't have faith for that. I'm just hoping. Don't. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Oh,
JoeMeZ, this week I did check out the first 2 episodes of The Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, so did I, baby.
Did you? Would you like to talk about it?
I would love this. I would love to talk about this show. So it's just fantastic. It's so wonderful. I love these characters.
I enjoy these characters so much, and I think it's a really interesting topic that they traipse around and traverse around the religious kind of zealot thing, you know, for-profit religion that is, you know, to anyone who is not immersed in it, does appear to be rather comical from afar. And I think they strike a good chord. And I think the actors, everyone casted in this show, I think is just so perfect.
Fantastic.
Like everybody plays their role to a T. And I like Adam Devine is like someone who I find annoying in a lot of things that he does because he's in a lot of things.
Yeah,
but
he is.
In this, I'm just like, yep, fucking Kelvin, just doing his shit. Like in this one, he's buying out the whole supply of the sex toy store. Like they want to celebrate celibacy, but all he's doing is putting money into them so they can restock and have, you know, just inflate sales. And then he decides to burn everything where everything is like latex rubber. And the guy who's actually burning everything is like getting ready to pass out. He's like, I don't feel so fucking good.
Oh, the Smut Busters.
The Smut Busters.
It's so good. Oh yeah, his friend. I forget his friend's name, but his friend
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Keith.
Keith. Yes, he is so good. I love, like I said, every character, the minor characters, everyone is just so good. I'm excited. This show is under the radar for most people. I never see people talking about it, but please, if you like comedy, I mean, what other comedies are there out there? You know,
Even Danny McBride, who I think has become like kind of like a low key comedic superstar. Like he's not thought of as like he didn't hit that Will Ferrell level. Like when Will Ferrell was just like the man in everything in the early 2000s, like after Anchorman's Starsky and Hutch, where he had that like role in like old school, like he Talladega Nights. He just had this run where he was like the top fucking guy. Yes, Chevy Chase, same thing. You have a run as the top fucking guy, and it doesn't really last that long. Like to me, Will Ferrell's still a star, but he's not where he was 20 years ago, which is insane to think that that's fucking 20 years ago now. But someone gets on these fucking heaters and just goes on a run where they have like everything they touch just turns to fucking gold. And not like Danny McBride has turned everything into fucking gold, but he's in a lot of shit that I think is fucking hilarious. Yes. From Eastbound and Down, where it's like where he came on my radar.
Sure.
But even shit like This Is the End is fucking hysterical. Your Highness, I think, is great.
I haven't seen it. That's something that I've been meaning to rewatch. I watched it when it first came out. Thought it was fine, but I'm like, I really want to watch that again.
I same thing. I think the repeated viewing makes it better. Yeah. Okay. The first time I was like, oh, this is okay. And then I might have had a couple drinks in me and like just put it on. And it was like my balls fell out. I was laughing.
I'm excited. All right, I'm excited. I'll put that on the list.
You know what? Don't put that on the list. Let's do a Your Highness coming up.
Okay, sure.
We might have something for this week. I don't know if you got something planned, if something's getting released this week.
Indiana Jones is this week.
So we're going to go see Indiana Jones this week, and we got the American Gladiators documentary. Yeah. So let's push, but let's do a Your Highness thing.
All right. We'll save it. We got plenty of time.
We got a writer's strike to fill in.
I was going to say, we got a writing. We got lots of time, bro.
So Righteous Gemstones, everything's on Max. This is season 3. So if you're behind, they are like hour-long episodes or 45-minute long episodes, but well worth the time. So give it a couple episodes. If you're not feeling early, like I got in right away, I was hooked.
Yes.
But if you're not feeling it, they're only like 8-episode seasons.
Yeah, it's not a big commitment. But I think if you can get on board, if you deal with what they're putting out there, whoo, they're giving the good stuff.
Yeah, put the kids to bed and enjoy a little adult comedy. And there's a wrestling tie-in too, if that's up your alley.
There is. Yes, it is. It's a pretty big one. That's right. So speaking of wrestling, Joe, woo!
What you got?
Forbidden Door, baby. Oh, baby. Did you watch this? I don't think you did.
I did not watch it. But I have a philosophical issue with
what's up?
Forbidden Door. The name of it is Forbidden Door. But we've done this 2 consecutive years. It looks like it's going to be something happening going forward. The door is very much bidden.
They say anytime a guy shows up, if a guy just shows up on Dynamite, they're like, oh, he's gone through the Forbidden Door. What's he doing here? It's just like their thing. It's their thing for any outsider.
Get a new name. Just call it All Ages Welcome.
Just call it AEW versus New Japan, right? I mean, that's the selling point.
Wrestling show.
It's true.
I heard good things about the show from people I've seen or follow on social media or some of our friends who watched it. Everybody seemed to be very complimentary about the Omega Ospreay match, especially. Other matches got good reviews.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, though. This is not something I have an interest in. Like even remotely.
Yeah, this is not yet. That's why I knew you didn't watch it. This is not.
I've always said the worst part about pro wrestling is the wrestling. So giving me this is why I hated Ring of Honor back in the day. Just a bunch of guys doing moves. I need a story, and at the end of this show, like this may be a great wrestling show, right? I didn't watch it. I'm not going to sit here and judge. But I've heard good things. Bryan Danielson versus Okada may be a great wrestling match. But what are they fighting for?
Who's the best? That's it. This is a one-off show that is no storyline. It's just two guys.
And I have no interest in that.
Why not? But Bryan Danielson versus Okada, two of the greatest wrestlers of all time in our generation. This is a big deal. That's the selling point.
Give me a story.
They're both the best in the world. That's the selling point. Who is the best in the world?
But like, I run someone off the road. Invade somebody's dad's funeral.
He said he's gonna kick his ass, bro.
It's not enough for me. I need more meat on the bone here.
I get it. But yeah, this is the one-off show where there's no build-up. These guys don't, the Japan guys don't really show up on TV other than like maybe they'll send a promo video just talking shit real fast. But yeah, this is essentially a dream show. Hey, you like wrestling? Here's some wrestling. So yeah, there is no stories.
I do not watch or care about Japanese wrestling. So if you think I'm gonna get excited because Tanahashi showed up in fucking Toronto, like get the fuck out of here.
That's not good. Why?
Because fucking 3% of the population subscribes to the New Japan app. Like we gotta pretend like this is worldwide. Get the fuck out of here.
But why doesn't it count, bro? Why doesn't wrestling all over the world count?
If you enjoy it, that's great. Good for you. I'm talking about the majority of regular people here. Like the episode of The Cosby Show where Theo wants to be regular people, and then Cliff teaches him how much it costs to be regular people. And then he's like, that's very expensive. I'm not subscribing to the New Japan app to watch fucking, what's the guy's name? Ishii,
yeah, sure. That's a guy.
Big fucking deal. I don't know what 11 of these guys got to take turns rotating over who gets to fight Chris Jericho this year. Chris Jericho is a fucking 55-year-old man, you jackals. Let him rest.
Bro, did you see the clip of Sting? Sting had a rough night, bro. 70-year-old Sting had a rough night yesterday.
I didn't, but I can't imagine it was complimentary toward him.
This one clip, Sammy Guevara is doing this like 6:30 on the outside to a table. At the last minute, it looks like Sting goes, oh, wait, I'm supposed to move? And so he kind of goes like this, and he just crashes right onto his rear. Oh, it's just terrible. This poor old man. He's an old man. Sting is old, bro, which is crazy. Sting is an old man.
Is he late 60s now?
I believe he's 60-something. Steve Borden is this guy's name, right? Let's see. What do we got here? 64 years old.
My God. And good for him to look that good and be able to do this at still at the level he does and still have that drawing power. I've never been a Sting fan, but that has nothing to do with it. Good for him to be able to still want to do this, to still have that drive. Because, listen, I don't know where he lives right now, but I can guarantee you, I hate going through fucking airports and packing a bag once a month. This man is forcing himself to do it fucking every week to go wherever they got to do TV or whatever. So bless his heart for still wanting to do this shit and still being able to do this shit. But there comes a time where it's like, my man, like, you've done enough. Like,
every year he says this is it, and then he signs like a one more year. Every year. He's been doing it for like 7 years now.
And at some point, it's going to be like Yoda training Luke in the Dagobah system, where he's just going to have nothing left to give and disappear.
So yeah, Forbidden Door. If you like that shit, obviously it's not for everybody. Clearly, I know there's a lot of Osprey hate. I love the guy. I know a lot of people don't, but
count me in there.
Listen, I agree with the promo stuff. I hate like the guy can't cut a promo without 17 curse words. It's like, bro, can we just and like it's literally just like he'll just be screaming fuck just like over and over. It's like this is a promo. Come on. But in the ring, I mean, come on. He's good. He does a lot of good stuff.
It just, to me, like the guys like him and Ricochet, what they can do athletically is unbelievable. It is. Like, it's just phenomenal. Shit that I couldn't even dream of being able to do my own. But it looks, and I understand, like, wrestling is a work. Like, I get that, you know, like I'm an adult. I've done a little wrestling. I understand it's a work, but there comes a point where there's wrestling, pro wrestling style, and then there's synchronized swimming. And what Will Ospreay does looks like synchronized swimming to me. It doesn't look like a performance of combat. And not everything does, especially a lot of the shit that I've done is more on the comedic side of things. But like, I'm still trying to win a match where I've never gotten the vibe that Will Ospreay is trying to win anything. He's just doing stuff for the sake of it because he can.
That's a very popular opinion.
Look, I'm not a genius who's like the first one to say this, but that's how it comes off to me. And it's very off-putting while trying to watch it.
Sure. So everyone else, skip that match and watch the rest.
Which Japanese guy did Chris Jericho fight this year?
It was like it's like a 6-man or something. Naito would be the Japanese guy he fought. No, but he faced Sting. This is the first time ever Chris Jericho and Sting were in a match together. Isn't that wild, bro?
I guess it is just because of how long both of them have
figured
been
they would have crossed paths, but when you think about it,
he
was way lower
WCW,
and then this guy was in TNA.
When Jericho was a top guy, exactly. Sting was in TNA. Jericho never went over there. Then when Jericho was on one of his hiatuses, Sting came back to WWE to do his little cup of coffee there.
To get murdered.
Yeah, to be broken in half. Because that's almost a decade ago.
That was a long time ago, yes.
That has to be, what, like 2014? Him versus Seth Rollins, Survivor Series?
It's definitely, the Sting stuff is definitely, 2014, 2015. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Fucking, we're old. Oh my God.
Yeah. So let's keep on the wrestling.
Oh, what else?
Dark Side of the Ring, JoeMeZ.
Oh yeah, what's going on over there?
So this past week we had the Doink the Clown episode.
How was that? That I forgot. I do want to watch that one.
And the week before that we had the Graham Family episode.
Is that all right?
Very different episodes.
Sure.
Wildly different in tone. The Graham Family, I think, is very interesting because it's not something most people know a lot about, but it deals very heavily in mental health, which is not something that we spoke about until semi-recently.
Sure.
So it becomes a very interesting episode because of that fact and with how it affected this family in a way that is kind of similar to the Von Erich family, but doesn't get publicized as much. Now the Doink the Clown episode.
Yes, how was this?
Is when you hear Dark Side of the Ring and you think they're gonna go like, oh, this guy's a fucking dickhead, and that is this episode. Doink the Clown was made for Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh shit! Okay.
Both episodes have this thing because they're interviewing family members, and family members will look at family members through rose-colored glasses. You're going to choose to remember the good times and the good traits and stuff. Yeah. This Doink the Clown episode, right off the bat, it begins with his daughter. And I've met Matt Bourne, but I mean like literally just, hey, nice to meet you.
Sure.
Okay. So I have no relationship with the man. I do have friends who were friendly with him. So they love him. Me, I had no relationship with the guy. I have heard nothing but horror stories from other people, though. I've heard plenty of Matt Bourne horror stories over the years.
Damn, that's sad.
This episode opens with the people doing the documentary asking his daughter, like, oh, do you remember who Ricky Steamboat fought at WrestleMania 1? And she's like, oh, yeah, it was my dad. And listen, I'm sure Steamboat was really good, but like my dad owned it. And it was like right off the bat, Ricky Steamboat. is regarded as the greatest babyface of all time. Ricky Steamboat is regarded as one of the greatest technical wrestlers in the history of the professional wrestling business. And I understand that this is your dad. I love saying nice things about my dad as well. One thing I will not say is that my dad outshone Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania. And the thing is like Matt Bourne was a really good worker. He was very good. Was he Ricky Steamboat good? I mean, that sounds like a stretch. But all the stories you get in this episode from Hacksaw Jim Duggan, from Mick Foley, like even they're like, we like Matt, but, and then it's like more stories about like just this guy being a drunken, belligerent asshole. And there was even a clip from a PWS show in 2010, which I was at. It was in like, I want to say White Plains.
How was that?
I was there because a bunch of my friends were on the show, and there was like a pre-show convention. So we had like the convention before the show, and then they did the wrestling show, and I was there doing something, and it was Hacksaw Duggan versus Matt Bourne doing Doink, but he was calling it Reborn. He was trying to make like a comeback out of this.
Interesting.
And so he was like a Joker Doink hybrid.
Okay,
like
sure.
It's like the paint it wasn't regular Doink paint. It was like smeared and stuff because he was trying to like reinvent it, but the Doink thing was always over. So he's like trying to keep the vibe. And I guess like something happens like right away where like Matt potatoes Hacksaw, and then it becomes like, hey, do you want to work or you want to shoot? You want to work or you want to shoot? Jesus. And it's like two brawling old vets like standing in the middle of the ring, like seeing if they want to fucking go. And then like at some point, like Hacksaw goes to get his board. He's like, you want to fucking do this or not? Like, and you know, finally someone just walks out. Like Hacksaw walks out. And he's like, oh, we could just do it in the locker room. So Hacksaw like walks out waiting for Matt to come backstage. And I guess like Matt just walked out the front door and went home.
Crazy, bro. Oh man.
But highly recommended. That's on Vice. So if you want to go check that out, that's the
they haven't made it easily accessible this year, huh?
They really don't. It
used to be on YouTube.
Well, people have been putting it on YouTube, and the thing was, Vice hasn't really put them on YouTube themselves. Okay. You can find the first season on Tubi of Dark Side of the Ring. But everything since then, it was people were putting it up on YouTube like immediately after the fact. So you were able to find a full episode in good quality to watch on YouTube. Then they started cracking down on that, and rightfully so.
Sure.
I mean, we complained because we like convenience.
Yeah, we want to watch it.
But they started cracking down on that. So then it became hard to find. Or if you did find it, it was like a very warped, low quality version where the audio doesn't match up or is put through a filter so it doesn't get tagged by the YouTube terms of service or anything.
Yeah.
So it's borderline unwatchable. So they have not made it easy to watch.
They still have a cable channel? I know that was a thing for a while. I don't know if
they have to, because that's where these episodes are going up, right?
Oh my God. I mean, it could just be a web thing. I don't even know at this point. Because they filed for bankruptcy, didn't they, recently? I believe
so. I do remember hearing that.
So shit, I don't know. Vice is not doing so good.
Yeah.
My goodness. Joe, I watched something this week. I went to the movies. Oh,
why would you do that?
Because there was a movie that came out last week that I didn't get a chance to see. I had mentioned The Blackening. Ooh, yeah. So this is a horror comedy centered around a group of black folk, and it's very it's made for a black audience. There's a lot of black jokes, of stereotypes that they deal with, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's a horror movie, and they hit all the beats that you would. And I thought it was a good time. I thought the horror was good. I thought the comedy was good. They did a good mix of the two. I know usually these movies, they don't always work. I know they don't always do good at the movie theaters. I don't think, I don't know how this was projected, but I know it hasn't been killing it. I think it came in 6th on opening week. I don't think it was even in the top 5. So, it's not doing so good. I think I think once it hits a streaming service, I think this is a movie that people will have fun watching, telling their friends, "Oh, you gotta check this out. This movie's crazy." Feel like that. But yeah, I went. There was no one there. I went. So yeah, not doing so good. But if you're interested, the Blackening, it is playing in theaters. If not, wait a week or two, it'll probably be somewhere to see.
Yeah, it didn't crack the top 5 at the box office this week. Only one new entry. We had the new release of No Hard Feelings that we talked about last week.
Yes.
Came in 4th this week at the box office at 15.1 million, which people are happy about.
I was gonna say, I can't imagine them expecting an all-rated comedy like that to do good. Now I hear the trailers are misleading. It's not as like raunchy as you would believe from like the trailers and stuff like that, but that is still very good. I hear it's very good. I had planned on seeing it this weekend, but my daughter got sick, so
good. This girl, she ruins everything.
So maybe next week, although next week's Indiana Jones, I guess I'll just wait for it to come on stream.
Yeah, I'm looking to go see it at some point this week. There's a couple things I want to get out and see, and obviously we have our own stuff to watch. But yeah, Indiana Jones, I'll definitely see this week. I would like to be able to get out there and see No Hard Feelings in theaters, just to feel like I'm supporting.
Sure. It's always good to support. Then we get more of it, right? We talked about it. It's our last chance to get an all-rated comedy. Come on.
Yeah. It sounds silly to say that, but this is the environment we live in now. So if you like something, you have to support it. Even take the Thundercats, for instance. This is a stretch to make a reference, but follow me here. I like the Thundercats. But I know that the Thundercats is a niche audience, especially compared to some of the other 80s cartoons and franchises and toy lines that exist. The Masters of the Universe, the He-Man, the Star Wars, all that stuff. Thundercats is considered very niche amongst those. And when Super 7 started releasing the ultimate figures of the Thundercats, I really didn't have an intention to buy them, but it was one of those things that I looked at and said, listen, this is being marketed to really people like me. And Thundercats may not get another crack at having more figures or more anything down the line if this isn't successful. So if I want to see more Thundercats, I'm the kind of person that needs to support this now while it's here, because it's not like there's just tens of millions of me overflowing the websites, ordering these figures to keep it in business. So it's people like me that got to support these things. So if you have something you like, support it. Leave a 5-star review on this podcast or any podcast. That's a free way of supporting something you like. And it does mean a lot. Hit like on a YouTube video for a creator you like. I watch a lot of these baseball videos that people put up. And just the other day, and this is going to sound silly too, but this guy put up a video like, let's remember Tim Lincecum. Tim Lincecum was a pitcher for the Giants at the early part of the 2000s, and he was fucking dynamic. So back-to-back Cy Youngs through 2 no-hitters, and then, all of a sudden, he just lost it. But for that little period of time, he was spectacular. So I got to watch this 15-minute video on Tim Lincecum, and I was like, goddamn right, Tim Lincecum. Let's remember you. And I made sure I clicked like, because I was like, you know what? Maybe this helps that guy who put this video out. Maybe it helps their algorithm. And I went and left a comment that was just literally a smiley face emoji.
Yeah.
It's not much, but it's something. It helps the algorithm, helps more people find it, helps him generate more revenue to continue making these videos. So doing stuff like that, I understand it takes an extra 30 seconds out of your time, but it does help the people who create these projects that you enjoy.
So 2 things that you, excuse me, 2 things you brought up here that made me think of something. You talk about supporting things. Joe, whatever happened with that WCW ring, the Nitro ring? That
failed.
Was not,
Didn't
it failed? Oh, man, that sucks, bro. Oh,
didn't make it, and then immediately after, so now they're basically back to the drawing board, right? Do we ever get another wrestling-themed project like that again?
Sure.
I would say probably not. Hasbro, however, remember that's Mattel who put out that WCW ring. Hasbro is doing a G.I. Joe crowdfund project right now for the Dragonfly, which is like the big helicopter, and it comes with Wild Bill, who drives it, and you can unlock other figures depending on how many people backed it. I believe it needed 10,000 to back it at base with the one figure, and then 13, 16, and 19,000, I believe, were the other goals. It hit 10,000 in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
But here's where it differentiates. You have G.I. Joe, which is a massive, right, collectible, and we talked about this, the G.I. Joe franchise. You know, there's such a market out there for collectors.
It's crazy, though. They're
and
constantly
WWE,
putting something out.
And WWE, which is another massive collector market, but there is the G.I. Joe fan base has it built into their DNA that they buy play sets and they buy vehicles because you always have.
Yeah,
the WWE fan base has figures a lot of money and one ring.
Yeah.
You know, how many rings do you need?
Especially how many big ass rings.
How many full arena play sets do you need? Yes, the WCW Nitro play set is really cool. And seeing it in person and set up with the working lights, and it was spectacular. It really was. I was amazed by how much I loved it set up in person. But not a lot of people have the room for that. And even if you're just a casual fan, you gotta remember WCW's dead over 20 years now.
Crazy.
And WWE has spent the last 2 decades shitting on WCW.
What WCW?
So if you're a casual fan or you're just super young and weren't even around for the Monday Night Wars, because that's a legitimate thing here, but you're a collector now, maybe you don't have the interest in it because all you've heard your entire life is how much this sucked and how much better WWE was for the entire time. Meanwhile, if you're a G.I. Joe fan, you want these classified figures. You want these vehicles because you've always been able to get these vehicles. It's built into your collecting DNA that you have to have the Sky Strikers and the Hiss tanks and the Dragonflies and the Cobra Terradromes. Like, all that stuff, you've always had it. It's always existed.
Okay. And the second thing you made me think of, you brought up baseball. Joe, have you played this game? It's on your phone. You go to a website. It's called Immaculate Grid. Have you played this game?
No. Tell me about it.
So you go to immaculategrid.com. And so it's a 9-cell grid, 3x3, you know.
Like Sudoku.
And so exactly. So it's like a Sudoku, right? So on the top, so like for today, on the top, it's Dodgers, Yankees, Hall of Fame. Then
so
coming
I believe I've seen heard versions of this on different baseball podcasts I've been listening to.
Yeah. So it's and then the bottom is Sox, Brewers, 300K career. So then you have to match up. The first thing is
I gotta name a guy who played for the Dodgers and the Red Sox or something.
Yeah, the Dodgers and the White Sox. You gotta think of a guy who played for the Yankees and the Brewers, the Yankees and the Sox. And then, you know, a LA Dodger who's had 3,000 career Ks, a Hall of Famer that had 3, you know. So there's lots of names that could work, but then there's also not.
But you can't use the same names twice.
Can't use the same name twice. And the goal is to try to get it in 9 tries, to try to get an Immaculate Grid, which is that. I just heard of this game the other day. I haven't played it yet, but you brought it up, and it's I keep meaning to ask you because I know you're the baseball boy.
I have not played this. I have seen people doing it. Like I said, I've heard people playing it on hockey podcasts even.
Sure.
What I do play, it's an app called 5 for 5 Baseball. And every day you log in and you pick 5 winners. And you can join league. You create leagues for you and your friends. It's a free app. I've been doing it for a few years now. And you get different point scores. So, like, let's say right now, if the Yankees are playing the Red Sox, the Yankees are favored slightly. So it might be like 52-48 or whatever. But then you get points for home runs, points for strikeouts. If you win with a team 3 times in a week, that's a bonus. If you hit a certain number of home runs, if all your teams combine for a certain number of home runs or strikeouts for the day, that's a bonus. If you get all 5 correct, that's a bonus. You know, if you pick all National League teams and they win, that's a bonus. If you pick all teams within one certain division, that's a big bonus.
That's cool.
So there's stuff like that I play every year. And I run a league every year for people within the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast group. We have our own little Major Marks league that we play for, I think, 3 years running now.
Oh, that's very cool. You playing Wordle? When's the last time you opened that Wordle?
Oh my God, completely forgot about it.
I played it the other day for the first time. I was sitting around waiting to do something. And I don't know why. I said, let me see what's going on in the world of Wordle today. Because I still have a couple friends who put up a fucking thing every once in a while.
But then people got crazy with it. And I think that was what turned off a lot of people. Was it went from Wordle to Quartle, which was like the four one.
My wife was doing that. Octurtle. It was
Octurtle was another one. It was like 8.
It was so crazy.
Then there was one with like baseball words, and then there was Taylor Swift ones, and
it was wrestling.
They just got out of control, like anything else.
Exactly. Hurdle was the best though when they turned into songs where you hear the music.
Yes,
it turns to like name that tune kind of. Yeah. That was fun for a little bit.
One thing I did check out this week, I went on Hulu and I said, you know what? Let me go watch this Full Monty show.
Oh, okay.
But I hit a detour because I see in my trending list that was at the top of the page, it had this show called The Toys That Built America. And I'm going, what the fuck is this? The toys, because I remember The Toys That Made Us on Netflix, but what is
like a history channel? It's a history channel.
It's a history channel produced documentary.
They do Food That Made Us. They do a whole bunch of things like this.
So they just released season 2 back in October. Season 1 has like 4 episodes, and they kind of go through a chronological timeline of the toy business, and they start with like Slinky, Silly Putty, Hula Hoop. There's like the Hasbro versus Mattel, Barbie versus G.I. Joe from like the 60s kind of war coming up. Matchbox versus Hot Wheels. There's a board games episode. And then season 2 is like kind of the more traditional, like here's the rise of Star Wars and He-Man and stuff like that. Season 2 is 10 episodes. I watched a couple because now I got sidetracked and I got to check this out. Like, why don't I know that this exists? And very interesting. And I actually like it more than the Netflix one because with the Netflix shows, and we've said this, it gets too comedic where they're trying to make a joke out of everything.
The style that they do it. Yeah. Just give me the info.
This is done from a very kind of documentary, traditional documentary perspective. So I find it very interesting. So that's on Hulu. That's called The Toys That Built America. It's produced by the History Channel.
No, that's cool. That's definitely, that's like, I want to hear about He-Man, but I don't want to have a guy staring at the camera because he said something.
Yeah.
Fuck that. So that's interesting. Cool. I'll have to check that out. Oh my goodness. It's a lot to watch here. Look at this. My goodness. Oh boy. Oh, I watched one other movie because, we like to talk to our passengers on the Twitter, on the Facebooks, and we started talking about B horror movies. That was a topic of discussion.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So
18 weeks of horror.
Our listeners started some shit this week on social media, didn't they?
I love it. You're in trouble this year, buddy.
And I feel like if that's the kind of shit that you guys want to watch along, then we're going to have no choice but to do it. I will hate.
Yeah, it's not.
I will hate you guys for it, but I will do it.
I'll maybe do one week. We'll do something like that. But the thing is, you don't like silliness when it's actually done like an Evil Dead. You don't like that silliness, so you're not gonna like the silliness of we ain't got no money. We can't afford anything. The script is not very good. Like, you're definitely gonna hate every second of a movie that I watched this week called Cocaine Shark, about some shark eating cocaine that is falling off a drug lord's thing here. That you're gonna hate, bro. You're gonna go, the graphics are fucking terrible, the acting is terrible. Like, you're gonna get no enjoyment. Whereas me, I'm like, this is the worst shit ever, but that was funny. Like I said, House of the Dead, it was terrible, but I'm laughing at how terrible it is a lot of the time. I'm into that shit, Joe. I don't know. I can't do that to you. I don't think I'm going to do it to you.
So Cocaine Shark sucks.
I mean, you know, it's okay. The best thing about it is fucking 74 minutes long. God bless.
That's a good time.
That's what you want when it's a stupid ass movie with terrible graphics. The shark looks fucking terrible, bro. But you know, I had some fun watching it.
Look, it's not for everyone. It's like
not.
a fucking Will Ospreay match.
The Cocaine Shark is definitely a Will Ospreay match. If you're into it, you're gonna have a good time. But if it's not your thing, you're gonna sit there going, even with 74 minutes, you're gonna be like, oh my god, this movie is fucking dragging. What's happening here? So it's not recommended for everyone. But listen, if you like this bullshit, you like those sci-fi movies that used to play on Saturday nights, Cocaine Shark is for you, folks.
I did not watch Cocaine Shark this week, but we did have our watch-along movie this week, JoeMeZ. And the wheel decided to bestow upon us Punisher Warzone, starring Ray Stevenson as Frank Castle, the Punisher, from 2008. And this was playing on Peacock for everyone who wanted to watch along.
Oh, baby. What a picture.
IMDb describes this movie as Frank Castle, known as the Punisher, ruthlessly demolishes organized crime, but starts an even bigger war.
Okay. Very generic, not giving you anything. But I mean, that is the gist of the movie there, without getting into little details here and there. That is what happens, sure.
So this is actually the lowest box office of any Marvel movie in history.
Oh, is it? Boy, I didn't know that.
It only made $10.1 million at the box office on a budget of $35 million.
Wow. So what the fuck was that opening weekend, bro? That was just, whoo, boy.
So originally, this is the reboot of a reboot, because in 2004, there was the Thomas Jane Punisher, which was a reboot technically of the 1989 Punisher, which starred Dolph Lundgren.
It's on the wheel.
It's so great. But originally, this was not supposed to be a reboot. It was supposed to be a sequel of the 2004 Thomas Jane movie, where he was supposed to come back, and there was just all these differences of opinions between the studio and then Marvel and then the actors and the writers. There was such a difference of opinion. Thomas Jane was like, listen, I'm not spending 3 years staying in shape for a movie that may or may not happen. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I get it, bro.
So
Marvel
they decided
is rough.
They rewrote this movie to make it like a new thing. They got Ray Stevenson brought in. And a lot of the action in this movie is truly and ridiculously over the top. Like the Punisher does not say a word until we're 25 minutes into the movie. But by that point, he's already killed like 44 people.
The best. That's the way. That's what we want.
There's one at one point, like right off the bat, he's hanging by his legs from a chandelier,
so good,
swinging around while his machine guns just take out like an entire organized crime family. It's so fucking ridiculous. And you say, my God, like, doesn't this feel like the time where they would have wanted movies to get like kind of gritty and more realistic? More serious? Like, wouldn't you want that, especially around 2008 when this movie came? And they did, except for the fact that the day the director was supposed to meet with the brass from Marvel was the day after the Virginia Tech massacre. And when they showed the gunman from the Virginia Tech, they showed like his apartment or whatever, he had a Punisher poster on his wall.
Of course.
So the decision was made to exaggerate the violence in such a way where like crazy people wouldn't go out and try to recreate it.
Sure.
So that's why like some of this shit is just absurdly over the top and feels more like the 80s style superhero movies that we all know are terrible.
Sure. That action is crazy. A man gets blown up with a bazooka, Joe.
Yes, I love it.
It's so good.
A man gets put into a glass destroying machine and somehow comes out alive.
Yes, that's our big bad guy origin story. Falls in a vat of glass, cuts his beautiful face up, His
Yeah.
beautiful face. Oh,
He was so good looking.
Billy the Beaut.
Billy the Beaut. And now he had no face. Like they literally took his face off.
Oh my goodness. So funny. Oh, Jigsaw is his name.
Now, I don't know anything about Jigsaw. I've always said I don't really follow comics or anything. Is he like a big villain in the Punisher's line?
Like he's a guy. I don't really, there's nothing special or anything like that. Like he's just a guy, which is cool. It's better than the Flash. We don't get a Flash bad guy in the Flash movie. At least we get a Punisher bad guy. That's good at least.
I did not hate this movie.
I don't think you can hate this. I think the over-the-top action is so enjoyable that it's a fun time. Like, yeah, other stuff ain't great, but there's a lot of killing. And if you're watching a Punisher movie, I mean, I guess that's what you want, right? So I'm sitting there going, this is fun. The
story is a little contrived. It's out there. So the Punisher is taking down this organized crime family. Turns out he's missed a couple people, so he goes hunting them down. But when he does that, he also kills this one guy who's an undercover detective posing, who's in with the family. So now that he realizes he killed like one of the good guys, the Punisher is distraught and now thinking about getting out of the punishing business.
That's it. One more job, bro. It's one of those movies.
Newman from Seinfeld convinces him to, finish this gig, do the right thing and avenge himself, the killing that he perpetuated upon this poor family, because this dead detective now has a wife and a daughter behind who the mob guys are probably going to go after them now because he bamboozled them.
He's a rat.
So the Punisher has to go and protect that family as well as finish off the job with the mobsters.
Killed the husband, and he's the new daddy now. He's gonna take over.
It looks like you got right. Isn't that the feeling you get? Like the Punisher just gonna slide right into that chair.
Are you my new daddy? Seems like it, bro. He's getting
it's
soft
like when
on
I
that
do
little
those
girl.
Stepdad movies, and I go, listen. No one's trying to replace your real dad, but your mom and I are getting kind of serious, and I'd like if we could be friends. And then she goes, but do you know what I do with my friends? And I say, why don't you show me? That's the Punisher.
Oh, is it?
That was the movie I saw.
Oh, man. Oh.
I believe those were his exact words. They might not have been, but that was what I believe to have seen. And
that's what I took from the story.
No one can tell you how do you feel about certain pieces of art.
You're
and
allowed
the Punisher
Warzone
is certainly a piece of art.
Oh, the bad guys, Jigsaw is fine. The brother's a little annoying, but he's a little, he's a little too much. But everything's over the top, so I can't really enjoy a guy getting his head blown off and then get annoyed that a guy's hamming it up at the same time. Like I get it. This is what we're in for. So, you take the good with the bad, right? Like that's that's that. It's not very long, so that's another plus. We got a lot of pluses, I feel.
Yeah,
because. The word on the street is it's very poorly rated. This Punisher movie.
It is. It's very poorly rated. I didn't.
I think the Rotten Tomatoes like 17% or something like that.
I was gonna say I think it was like 30, but even I wouldn't be surprised if it was that low. It's
pretty low. But one thing that people do like is Ray Stevenson as the Punisher. Did you like him as the Punisher?
Thought he was fine. Now my knowledge of the Punisher is really the one by John Bernthal.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Jane, bro.
Well, I saw like once, but I don't really remember it. It was very forgettable to me. But the Punisher series that they put out on Netflix was a thing. So, like, that's kind of where I have the Punisher, and I'm okay with that Punisher. I think he's really good in that Punisher for me.
I think he's. I don't know if I finished the whole season, but I was enjoying him. It wasn't his fault that I didn't finish the season. I thought he was very good. And I don't know if it's a true rumor, right? But the rumor is that he's coming back, right? I don't know if that was a real thing.
So. I believe I heard that as well.
But I'm looking forward to that, to see him in there. You know, I've always liked the Punisher. I read Punisher comics. Nowadays, they do some wacky shit. Do you know the Punisher turned into the Ghost Rider? Do you know that? Frank Castle turned into the Ghost Rider. Yeah, Cosmic Ghost Rider. Very good. It's a great storyline. Trying to kill baby Thanos, all this shit. A lot of good stuff. I'm a big fan of it.
The Punisher has become very controversial, I guess, right? By a certain section of the population's use of his logo and stuff. And
they don't understand. Half of them don't understand it. You know, they got they got a thin blue line Punisher. It's like, hey guys, that's not how that works. There.
Hate to break this to you. Punisher don't like cops.
It's but it is. I believe Marvel has changed the skull. I think the skull's a little different now to try to differentiate from the lunatics who like to use it. And I think that's also probably why a lot of Punisher comics are like flashbacks to like him in like Vietnam and shit like that. And also now this cosmic thing. I think that's why maybe they've gotten away from him on the street shooting everybody up, you know? Makes sense. Marvel's known to do that.
Let's hit some music.
Sure, baby.
Are you a man? A double main man? Are you a man? A triple main man? A man? A quadruple main man? Are you our man? Are you our man?
Punisher Warzone 2008. Where does this fall on your main man standings?
I didn't come in here expecting, a superstar of a movie. I came in with moderate expectations, and I would say I was delightfully surprised. I enjoyed things about this movie. It's not a good movie, but there are things to take from it that are enjoyable. All the killing and the manner of killing is a lot of fun. Ray Stevenson is good in his role. Not everybody can say that. There are a bunch of actors in this movie who are not very good in their role. Like the guy who is the actual detective who wants to avenge his partner that the Punisher killed by mistake. Like that guy is really, really bad at acting. But overall, this could have been a hell of a lot worse than it was. So I'm going to give it a double main man, 2 stars.
I'm there with you. I'm going to give it a 2.5 main man. It's fine. I think if you like over-the-top violence, there's more than enough to make up for the lackluster performances by certain people. And even the storyline is, not so good when the killing is not happening. So yeah. 2.5. It's on Peacock. You could check it out. Again, you gotta know what you're getting into, really.
Yeah, but I mean, with all this shit that we watch, and we watch a lot of shit. Let's call a spade a spade. It could have been worse.
100%. It's not worse. Like I've seen it a few times, but I haven't seen it since it first came out. So I just remember it being okay, and it's okay. It's an okay movie with some good violence.
All right.
Check it out. No wheel this week of superheroes because, as we mentioned earlier, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny drops this week. You excited, bro?
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've heard that Indiana Jones sucks, so no, I'm not looking forward to it at all, Gomez.
I hear mixed things. Are you a big Indiana Jones guy? Like, you
I like it, but I'm not like a super fan by any means.
I think I'm there too. Like I love the movies, but I'm like, every year I gotta watch Indiana Jones. It's just, I watched them when I was younger. I've watched them a few times when I'm older.
We did an episode, if you guys want to go back into the archives, where we watched the other Indiana Jones movies. So you can go check that out.
Wow. I don't remember that. Whoa.
We've done a lot of episodes now.
Wow. Okay. Did we watch Crystal Skull? We didn't do that, right? Because I'm like, I don't
We
remember
did the
seeing.
original 3.
Okay, because I'm like, I only remember watching that one time in the theater. Maybe one other time when it first came on DVD or something
I
like
don't
that.
remember watching Crystal Skull ever.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I believe we just did the original 3.
Okay. So yeah, so that's got to be it. Okay. I may rewatch it because it's been so long. It's not like all of a sudden people are like, hey, you know what? This is actually a good. It's not like happening. You know, it usually happens.
Thank God.
Oh, you know what? You gotta no, people are still saying it's not very good. So you know, we'll see. I might check it out this week, but I'm semi excited for a new Indiana Jones. We'll see. You know, fingers crossed. I hope it's good. If you are
a Disney Parks fan, where the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular show is at Hollywood Studios, there's like a little gift shop over next to it that they have turned into a bar. So you could go and get little Indiana Jones themed drinks now over at Hollywood Studios. So I suggest you go check that out.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. God bless Disney. They're always doing it, guys. Always.
Well, even downtown Disney has a bar called the Hangar Bar, Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar, which is supposed to be like Indiana Jones themed too. So you can go there. I've drank there plenty of times. It's not exactly cheap, you know. You are at a Disney themed bar, even though it's not in the parks. It is downtown Disney, but you get some specialty drinks, some good apps. I recommend the pretzel, the nice hot pretzel, and the spinach and artichoke dip for the chips. Highly recommended from the Superstar.
All right. So Indiana Jones is next week, but before we get there, we got to wrap this one up here, Joe.
Might as well hit some music.
It's now time for the big finish.
All right, Joe. We can't go an episode without spinning a wheel. I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
Of course not.
It is big finish time. Let's spin this wheel, baby. Oh, it was so close to something so good. All right, this is good. Big finish today is
we could spend an hour on this.
Toy Playsets. This is going to be fun. Here we go. I don't even know where do I begin.
I don't know where to start. Is it stuff I played with as a kid or stuff that I look? Eternia, the original Eternia playset to me is my grail. But it was something as a kid that I didn't even know existed because it came out near the end of the Masters of the Universe toy line. Looking back, like, it's just amazing. And I own one now, which is incredible. So there's that. But right behind it is something else that I've never owned in my life, but still boggles my mind to the fact that it was ever made and people still have it and people are still finding pieces to it to this day. The USS Flag aircraft carrier from G.I. Joe. That thing is astronaut. You need an entire room to have that displayed and put together.
So I never really had play sets. I'm trying to think. I had the Ghostbuster play set. That's probably the Firehouse. That's probably the only. Did I have a Ninja Turtle one? I know they had like a.
You didn't have the sewer?
I don't think I had that. No, I had the van. But I don't think I had
the Technodrome.
Oh, you know, I never had the Technodrome. I always wanted it.
It's a very rare one. That's a rare boy right now.
I never had that. That's awesome. The Technodrome. So I'm trying to think. You know, what other play sets do I think of?
The G.I. Joe line really killed it with the play sets because the USS Flag is unbelievable. Then you have the Cobra Terrordrome, which is awesome. Then on top of that, you have the Defiant spaceship, space center, you know, where it opens up and you have the spaceship and the pieces come apart. I had that as a kid that I got for something I must have did well, but that thing was incredible. Like G.I. Joe really killed it on old school play sets. But even like going back now, Mask has the Mask toy line, I say all the time, is amazing. If you ever go back and look at some of those play sets, they're great. The Filmation Ghostbusters, not just the real Ghostbusters with the firehouse, but the Filmation version has a command center, Ghost Command it was called, that's amazing and fun. Thundercats, the Cat's Lair, as well as Mumra's Tomb Fortress, which is one that I loved, where you would put the old decrepit Mumra figure and then you spin it around, and then you had the big Mumra, the ever-living figure. I love that one.
That's cool. The only other thing I had the I guess was the Hot Wheels, where it was like the
tracks and stuff.
Like there was a track, but then there was one with like a car wash,
it came with the cars that changed colors through it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. It did change.
I think my brother had that.
You know, that's probably it. That's funny.
Another one I remember my brother having, now for some reason it just hit my mind, was the Flintstone Kids had like a school play set.
You know, I think I had a Flintstone thing without you saying that. That is so funny.
The Flintstone Kids, short-lived cartoon, basically gets no love now. I used to look forward to that on Saturday mornings. But they had a small little toy line with just really the main characters, and then they had like a school play set.
That's so funny, bro. Something I haven't thought of in 400 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. You got any other ones? I'm all out there.
Oh my God. I could probably go on forever if you guys want to hit me up, talk about this, or tune into Captain's Log and interview Joe Shoes when that's coming up, and you can ask me all about my favorite toy playsets there as well. But yeah, like, I mean, it's so hard to do these things from the top of your head. It's obvious that Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, obviously huge, but like just the Eternia, the size, how many pieces there are, the fact that I own one, like, is amazing to me, because I never thought I'd be in that space where not only do I have it, but I have it complete and I have the box for it. It's just pretty crazy that I am able to have this stuff. And man, little me would be very happy about that.
Yes, it is. Well, Big U, how about you hit him with the plug so we can get out of here?
Thank you guys for listening to the JoeMeZ podcast. Remember to hit subscribe wherever it is that you're listening to this, or if you're watching on YouTube, leave some comments, leave some likes. Make sure you are leaving those 5-star reviews. And if you do, screenshot it, tweet it to us at JoeMeZ, and we will send you an autographed 8x10 as a thank you. You can follow all my personal stuff, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at The Joe Shoes, or buy one of these shoehorn t-shirts over at prowrestlingtees.com/Joe Shoes. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube, youtube.com/Joe Shoes, to see some food reviews. Volcano menu at Taco Bell is back, baby.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. The JoeMeZ 154, Instagram and Twitter, twitch.tv/Mez Movie, folks.
And we'll be back next week with the Netflix American Gladiators documentary, as well as Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So make sure you're getting out there. Make sure you're watching along with us. That way you can understand what we are talking about. But JoeMeZ, until then, let's make like Tom and cruise.
Peace.